But engineers not known for being the funniest people. So when I say I'm an engineer comedian, the only thing that really makes me different is I take the time to graph and chart my jokes. I'm an observational comic. So here's what's going to happen if you're making microwave popcorn. Okay, here's the number of edible pieces here. Here's the time. You're at 1 minute, 2 minutes. No pieces have popped. Sometime above 2 minutes, you don't know where. All pieces have popped. All pieces are burned. The bag is on fire. The smoke alarm is blaring, and your house stinks for a week. And this amount of time, it can actually get edible popcorn. That is 0.001 seconds. I'm with this guy really like, this is so weird. I'm actually in my slides. I feel like that little office guy in PC. Hey, there's a faster way to do that. Here's a lot of these I can't explain, but I know them to be true. This happens all the time at my gym. Here's the locker room at my gym. Okay, I walk in, that's me, I'm the blue dot. I start to get changed. Pretty much the minute I get all my clothes off, 12 guys walk in, and this is where their lockers are. How is that possible? Big empty locker room, I'm surrounded by naked guys within seconds. That defies probability statistics, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of probability statistics, basic probability says if you flip a quarter 1,000 times, it will land 500 times heads and 500 times tails. And that will happen within a standard deviation. That's exactly what will happen. And that will hold true for a quarter. But not everything. I have an 8-year-old son. If he drops a piece of jelly bread 1,000 times, which he has done in the course of 1 weekend, it will not land 500, 500. You get a break half the time. No, it'll land jelly side down the messy way 800 times, and jelly side up 200 times. And that is on a kitchen floor. If you have a nice rug, forget it, you're screwed. Never catch a break. Now, a lot of these things are just handed to me. This is a graph I found in USA Today of how people use their time at work on the internet. And you see, you use reading emails 46% of the time, browsing 33% work. And I looked at that and I said, they have clearly cleaned this up for USA Today. Clearly. Because they left out some major internet users. So it's my job as a comic to bring truth to this fact. So I think the numbers are probably right, but the labels are wrong. So I think 3% of the time is spent working. That's rounded up from like 0.00001. I think 9% of the time is spent trying to remember passwords. I'm like, honey, what was the cat's name? Oh, the old cat with half a tail. Our password cat. You know what I hate most? Now, I have so many now, and then you go and get a new account and ask you to make up a new one, and you put one in, and it goes, no, that's not hard enough. How much harder does it have to be? I can't remember it. I can't hack into my own account. That's pretty good security. I think 14% of the time is spent watching YouTube at work. I think 19% of the time ignoring Facebook friends requests. 24% of the time following Justin Bieber on Twitter. 30% of the time deleting mail enlargement spam. I get about 8 or 10 a day. Please tell me I'm not alone. 33% of the time watching porn, and 46% of the time searching for porn. Which is why Google is worth $1 bazillion right there, explains it. The first thing I realized was that my wife is a great arguer. But I never knew how great she was until I plotted the chances of me winning an argument versus time. And most guys wouldn't have tried this, but I was daring. And it turned out there were 3 distinct periods. When we were first dating, I had a 50-50 shot in any argument. I had no inkling at the time that those were the glory days. That's it, I peaked right there. That's the best I'd ever do. Because once we got engaged, it immediately dropped to 1 and 4. And then since I've been married, I am 0 for 13 over 16. I actually think I won one argument, but we argued about who won that argument, so I have to say I lost, even though I'm pretty sure I won one. Now, I actually did this. I actually plotted in a real argument my wife and I had. I had a flow chart to see where I was going. And I have to tell you, it started out like such a simple argument. It wasn't a big argument. I was hanging my son's mobile in his room of the planets. And I put all the planets up, Saturn and Neptune, and I got out to Pluto, and I went to put it up, and I went, whoa, I don't have to put this up. Pluto's not a planet. And I put it back in the box. My wife's like, what are you talking about? Pluto's a planet. I go, no, it's not a planet anymore. It's been downgraded. It's not a planet. She goes, yes, that's how the argument started. She said, Pluto is a planet. I said, no, it's not. She said, are you saying I'm dumb? That's what we call a trap. Because what am I going to say to that? If I say no, that yes, that leads to divorce. So of course I say, no, I'm not saying you're dumb. She says, well, I don't like the way you argue. I was pulling out logic. Like, logic is the end-all be-all. You're saying I'm not logical. You are saying I'm dumb. Again, if I say yes, it leads to divorce. So I say, no, I'm not. She said, well, you don't respect me. You don't think emotions are valid. You don't respect me. You don't care about my feelings. Well, if I say, yeah, no, I don't, that leads to divorce. So I say, yes, I do care about your feelings. She says, well, do you want to have sex again? And well, frankly, that's not an option. So in our house, Pluto is officially a planet. It's actually my favorite planet now. To me, it's the largest of all the planets. This is possibly the nerdiest new things I have. This is going to get really nerdy for a second, but stick with me. I design computers, and basic computers are based on what's called Boolean logic. Boolean logic is also used in law and a lot of other. But logic basically says if you have two inputs and the say for an AND function, if both inputs are true, then the outputs are true. If one is false, the output's false. If the other is false, the output's false. And if both inputs are false, the output is false. That's how an AND gate works. If you have an OR gate, if either one is true, the output's true. If either one is true, the output's true. And only when both inputs are false is the output false. So I applied this to my marriage, and I came up with, I believe, the first Boolean logic math. Now, if you're not married, write this down. It's very important. So the inputs are the man and the woman. If the man is wrong and the woman is right, of course, the output is the woman is right. That goes without saying. If they're both right, it doesn't matter. The woman is still right. If the man is right and the woman's wrong, still doesn't matter. The woman's still right. And if they're both wrong, the man is wrong. I'm just going to leave this up here a second while you guys write that down.